Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline. Hump Day.
Hump Day.
What's going on, Jay Spence?
What's up with you, Joe Miller, the voice? Joe Miller wired.
Jay Spence, the king. We're getting all formal up in here. Dude, football's back, bro.
Yes.
And we're dressed for it.
No drama. It's football.
You got the memo.
It's football.
Football is back.
How
was your hump day, your football hump day?
Well, today was busy. It was one of those days where I literally ran, like I rushed home. I ran in, threw on my jersey before I said, like, literally my suit is on the floor. Like I didn't even have time to hang my suit up. So but it's hump day and we are here. I'm ready. I'm amped for this. I've been waiting.
Normally that happens after drinks on Friday night. The suit ends up crumpled on the floor.
Touche. No drinks today.
Just saying. But everybody, welcome into the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Rumblings Multicast Network. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. I'm the co-host or one of the co-hosts of the Hump Day Hotline. That over there is my guy.
I'm JSpencetheKing. Was I supposed to say something else?
I don't know. Whatever you want to say.
Oh no,
I'm
Rock
that mic.
You know what I do want to say? Yeah. I do want to say first, because I texted you earlier. I'm like, yo, you got to let me have a monologue.
You got to do it anyway. That was the funniest post there. I have never been so disappointed when I found out that one was fake.
Right.
When I found that one, I was like, bum, bum, ba-dum.
Because you already knew where I was going to be if that was like sort of kind of true, like just a little bit.
You first of all, jump on it, hump that like button, and also subscribe whether you're listening to us live now, jump on the like button, or you're watching us later after this is posted. Jump on the like button, hump it, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before football season starts. I think we're like 75 away. We are very, very close. You and I have done a ton of work. We have grinded for the last 4 or 5 months. You and I put in a ton of work getting this thing. Actually, when you got it, it was 14 or something like that, wasn't it? 13 subscribers last year.
To be honest, I don't even remember where it was at, but I mean, we put in some work.
It was like 13. So since you started, it's now almost 1,000. So we have been grinding, you and I. So anyways, all that to say this, go there, talk about it. Talk about that post.
Well, so the post that Joe is referring to, Mr. Wesley Steinberg tweeted out. Well, first, the Giants did cut Kelvin Benjamin today, and the reasoning that Mr. Wesley Steinberg said was the video surveillance footage showed Benjamin had been stealing food from the facility to take home.
That's why they cut him.
First of all, okay, so y'all know I'm making, I just crack jokes. Kelvin Benjamin at some point in his life was an elite athlete in college. He made it to the NFL, and he did things I will never ever be able to do physically. So I am not making fun of him in the sense that I think that I'm better or anything like that. This is strictly on an NFL level when that was the guy who was supposed to be the number one receiver for the quarterback that is currently on my roster. This guy really thought it was just going to be easy to go and switch over to be a tight end. But I just want to talk about the fact that even though the tweet wasn't real, was that not the funniest thing you've seen in that?
It was well played. On a day when a parody account sent the day sideways, another parody account almost made the day. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, it did. It took my mind off of the other stuff. And that was like, okay, this is good.
It was fantastic. But to your point, you actually did not get to see a whole bunch of stuff today, which is fine. I caught up on a lot of the press conferences, which I'm going to say this. I know you usually do go back and watch the press conferences, or at least try to. The ones today were great. Tremaine was great. Josh was great. Steph was great. Cole was great. They were all the pressers today that we got to see were fantastic.
Well, I caught Brandon and I caught Josh.
Brandon's was great.
Yeah, his was great actually. Yeah. And I did get to see, I guess, part of Cole Beasley's, because he made a statement regarding his stance on COVID and everything. So I got to see that. But as far as Diggs or whoever else was able to speak, I didn't see Coach. So yeah, I will go back and look. But still, we can run through them. You can tell me what your takeaways were.
There's a lot. I mean, starting with Brandon Beane, I tweeted this out today. The NFL was very pointed, and if I remember this correctly, about saying that all staff members, all coaches, and NFL front office staff, everybody was going to it was going to be a requirement to be vaccinated. And then Brandon Beane kind of walked that back today. He said we are not going to pressure any of our people. There was people that responded to that said, well, all the coaches are vaccinated. And I don't know that we know that. And I don't know that we know that all their front office people are vaccinated. I think it's just, and it goes back to Rick Dennison. Obviously, we've all got history with Rick Dennison here in Buffalo because he was here and got fired. But earlier in the week when it was quote unquote reported that he was let go because he refused the vaccination. And then it was later reported yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that they had like come to some negotiation and settlement of terms, and he's actually back with the team in maybe a different role. To me, I felt like that was he lawyered up. And this is just a guess. This is literally my opinion. I don't know. I'm not in that room. I don't have back channel information. My guess is when they cut him loose, I had a feeling he lawyered up and a lawyer called. And because that's what lawyers do, employment lawyers do, the first thing they tell you is, I can get your job back for you. And then you have to decide, do I want my job back or do I want to like go to litigation and like get, and get money? Sounds like he wanted his job back. Now, Nate Geary since responded to that tweet to me saying that it was incorrectly reported that he was fired. So I don't know what the truth is. I know The Athletic reported he was fired. So Sports Illustrated reported he was fired. Everybody reported on Monday he was fired. So I don't know what the story is. So it just kind of was interesting that Brandon Beane said that he kind of said, we're not going to pressure any of our staff. We're not going to pressure any of our players. If they don't want to get it, they don't have to get it. If they want to get it, they can get it. So it just seemed weird to me that was a little off balance from what the NFL was kind of driving, which parlays into what Cole was saying. You said you caught some of Cole's.
Right. But well, before we actually even get into Cole's, the thing that I might get flack for this, but the thing I actually love about the Buffalo Bills organization, and I know some people were like, I can't believe the team gave Cole that platform to make this statement or blah, blah, blah. Like you see both sides of whatever argument. But the thing that I love about Brandon is that he truly is, he's just a supporter. He's a supporter of his men. It doesn't matter. Like he's not sitting here and he's only supporting you when you do what he wants.
Right.
He's supporting you as an individual. And he made his stance clear how he feels about things and what he did. Like he's vaccinated. He made it clear that some family members aren't. He made it clear that, but he supports every single guy, every single situation that happens on this roster. So final cut down day, all 53 men, he cares about every single one of their situations.
Every one of them. He
was talking about Star Lotulelei, and he's like, yeah, we're going to get Star work back in. You can't take a year off of football and expect it. And he just, he cared about that. Then he went and talked about Cole. Then he went and talked about Josh. I honestly, I just love how it's not like, okay, it's all right, it's my way or the highway. You're going to get cut. I love the fact that he's not like that. But then you look at other teams. Right. You look at Ron Rivera. He didn't say he's cutting people, but Ron Rivera clearly showed like a lot of frustration. For sure. And I would say this to back all of that up. The way he worded everything today was fantastic, coupled with the fact that Beasley said, upon being asked by one of the beat reporters, how come you never came out in a press conference and said this? Beasley said, I wasn't made available. Well, what did the Bills do today? They made him available. Yeah.
You better believe they pre-read that script. That script that he read, they read first. I promise you. They read that script before he did. What I liked about the script that Cole wrote as well, and this was what I was about to jump into, is we've all been there in employment situations. We're watching it play out with Xavier Howard, where he signed the biggest cornerback deal in the history of football, and he said, I didn't know what was in that deal, and I was really nervous and scared. Now you put that on a 6th-round draft pick or a 7th-round draft pick or a 5th-round draft pick, and the team is saying, you better get vaccinated or you're getting cut, or the NFL's saying that. And that's what Cole was kind of speaking to. Like, guys are getting told stuff, and it's not necessarily true. And in fact, there's really no rules yet on any of this. So he was just trying to be a voice for them because he can. Which to me, and the Bills, again, made him available to allow him to say that, to let them, to give his side. And then all that wrapped up in the shell, and then we can move on because you and I have not talked about the COVID stuff much, which I appreciate about our show. I'm glad that this is kind of going in a good direction, all of this. And all that wrapped up to say this. Josh Allen said today, I believe Brandon Beane said today as well, and maybe McDermott did too. They all said, we don't make the rules. We just have to enforce them. Which is huge, which basically tells you we side with the fact that people have opinions and they're going to do what they want to do and say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, we don't make some of these rules. We just have to enforce them. which I thought was huge. I thought Holy, as WHOLLY, Holy as an organization, it was absolutely fantastic the way that they handled all that stuff today, allowing Beasley to talk. Like, Beasley was super professional. I thought he was well put together, like all of it from top to bottom. So any final thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, I just agree with you. I think, and that's really the reason why I'm wearing the Cold jersey today, is because, like I said to you before we went live, I think a lot of times when guys have opinions or preferences that don't match up with, the masses or with a certain, I think what ends up happening is we always criticize instead of trying to understand. Like, a lot of times you can still disagree with somebody, but understand where they're coming from.
Right.
And, it doesn't always have to be like, he's not A, B, and C. Well, damn it. I'm done with him. It doesn't have to be that. Right. I can disagree. And you and I have these talks all the time, and we talk to it and about it with other people. Look, you can literally disagree on a lot of things in life and still love each other.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, Cole Beasley, I still don't understand why I see so many people on the timeline and even reporters. First of all, people who are not from Buffalo or who don't work in the Buffalo market, please don't pay attention to this stuff when they're saying Cole Beasley is going to be cut and Cole Beasley isn't going to make the roster. But then ones from Buffalo.
All that dried up really fast on Twitter today. All of it dried up really fast. But
right. You know why? But like we said on Monday, when we did the code of conduct, Monday we were talking and I said, no, I'm excited because as soon as football comes back, they're going to address it in the presser. Yep. And then as soon as you see Josh throw a football and somebody catch it, we're not going to talk at all about it. And after tonight, I really feel like this is the last time you and I will have to address this publicly. And I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy about that.
I agree. And I apologize. I cut you off, but I apologize.
No. It was good. It was conversation. But I'm just saying, like, it's just that I really want to make sure the team knows, that Cole knows, that Steph knows, that Josh knows. Look, I don't have to agree with everything that you guys do. I don't agree with every move the team makes. I don't agree with everything that Josh does or hasn't done, or what I don't agree with, Josh? I don't agree with the fact that you haven't responded to my email to come on my show. Damn it. I don't agree with that. How about that? Let's cancel Josh for that. No, but real talk. You can love people and disagree or not like something that they do, man. It's like, it's just ridiculous. So moving on.
Wait, hang on 2 seconds. I do want to address this. Chris Yankee asked, and this is a good, appropriate challenger question, and I'm an Enneagram 8 challenger. They tricked Xavier into signing that extension. No, they didn't trick him. But that doesn't necessarily mean that his agent, who's probably an attorney, maybe not, thoroughly walked him through every minute detail. And let's be honest, you're a banker. Do you remember the first time you bought a car? And all the contracts they had you sign?
I do.
I remember being a little bit nervous. Like, what is all this stuff? How about a house loan and a stack of paper that high?
Dude.
And you have to sign your name 75 times. And it's like, these disclosures, what are they? Why am I signing
this
stuff?
I go through it weekly. Right. And the thing is, there are people like Xavier Howard, and then there are people, probably more like you and I now, where, like, if you have experience and but like when you get that first time, you're anxious. You don't know what's going on. And even if you ask questions, a lot of times you're still so nervous you don't fully understand, which isn't anybody's fault but Xavier Howard. Like, he should have, hindsight, I'm sure he said, you know what, I should have taken a little bit more time and had lawyers or whoever or somebody that he trusts look it over and really explain it and break it down. There shouldn't be a rush to, like, if you get me a contract today, I should be able to say, okay, I'm gonna have my lawyer look at it and get back to you next week. Right. And you should be able to have a full understanding. But the thing is, he wasn't tricked. He just didn't grasp everything in that deal. And now he's right. He's not the highest paid cornerback on his team, but he's probably the best cornerback in our division. If he's not the best, he's the second best. I'm still saying Trey is, but there's an argument to be made. Like, it's Trey, Gilmore, him. We have some good talent in this division. Yeah. But no, he wasn't forced.
On Xavier Howard, I would leave everybody on this statement. When we see the picture with them with a piece of paper in front of them and a pen in hand, I promise you they did not sign their name once. Right?
No,
not on a $90 million contract or $100 million contract with $65 million guaranteed. They did not sign their name one time.
No. No, you have like off the field agreements. You have personal conduct agreements. You have
workout agreements,
workout agreements. You have
roster agreements. Yeah.
You have agreements for literally, I'm sure nowadays it's 2021. I'm sure they have social media agreements. I'm sure and I mean, I know, please don't go on the thing about Cole, because I don't think Cole was out of pocket with his social media. I just think he did it at a time where all the attention was on him, which sucks because, like I said, there's times that before I kind of got known at all, I would tweet stuff and nobody paid me any attention. The difference is it's Cole Beasley, his opinion matters to people. But yeah, no, they signed those things probably, I would say, anywhere between 30 and what would you say, like 50? Like, there's a lot of signatures, I'm sure.
There's no way you're signing $100 million contract with one signature and one date. There's no way. There's probably 700 initials. Initial here, initial here, initial here, initial here. Right. Let's move on. So we are going to give you, to the best of our ability. Go ahead.
Well, no, Chris is following up on that. He says that his problem with it is that he's not the highest paid cornerback on his team. Every other year, another guy signs a bigger contract than the one who signed earlier. That's the way extensions work. And that is very true.
Yeah.
But that's true when you're talking about the league. If I am clearly the best cornerback or the best whatever on my team, and you pay the second best guy more than me, then it's like, okay, wait a minute. I need to be paid. I'm not talking about the league. If he said, oh no, Stephon Gilmore just got an extension and he's the highest paid cornerback in the league, that's BS.
Right.
I'd be like, all right, you tripping.
Right.
He's the best defender on his team.
Right.
He should be paid like it.
I absolutely 1,000 bazillion % agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say, because both those points. I mean, you're right. Chris is right. I mean, but what do you do, right? I mean, I just don't know what the answer is, because that's what happens. I mean, the next guy comes in and he gets more money. But I think go ahead. No,
go ahead. Because actually, I thought you were
part of the rub for Xavier Howard is apparently that he wants more guaranteed money. Which the reality is with a little flick of a clause in the contract, they can move all of his money up front to this year, and just like they did with Stephon Diggs, like they did with a bunch of our players, and give him $15 million right now. And maybe they're not doing that for some reason, and that's what he's a little bit miffed about. I don't know. Go ahead. What were you going to ask me? What question?
Well, no, I was going to actually, before we get into because I know we're going to go down the rabbit hole of Bill stuff like we normally do. Did you watch the Aaron Rodgers presser today?
I did not, but I read snippets of it.
Do you mind if I kind of just share a small clip of it? Because I would like to talk about.
You have it, sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna everybody. This doesn't go live as a pod, so everybody watching. I'm gonna share this clip from Aaron Rodgers presser today. I want to talk about it because a lot of the stuff that I feel like a lot of stuff that we talk about with the Bills goes unappreciated because we're not used to certain things. And then when we look outside at other things, like for instance, this situation, I think a lot of people try to call Aaron a diva about this stuff. And I think he's right. So check this out. Let me know what you think.
It's muted.
Is it?
I don't have audio.
Let's see here.
Technical difficulties.
Why is it not playing? Okay, well maybe I can't share it.
So I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I was just gonna do the talking for him.
Well, I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not sharing because. But it's okay. So basically, one of the clip that I was going to share, Aaron was talking about how guys like Micah Hyde and Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson, and he mentioned quite a few guys, but he was talking about how in his career, he's been there for a certain amount of time. And these high caliber players and high character players have been either not given fair offers for extensions, or they were basically like, just not valued at all. And they were shown the door and gone other places to play. And he's saying for him, this whole thing started because he wanted to have the ability to have input on how he does his job.
Yep.
He wasn't talking about defense, wasn't talking about special teams, but he wanted to have input. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know how people can look at that and say, hey, he's a diva. If you're paying me to be the quarterback of this team, or you know what, let's use something else. You just I'm a banker. I work for a bank.
Yep.
So if you're paying me, let's say I'm the branch manager. You're paying me to run a branch.
Yep.
But you don't give me 5 or 4 tellers, and you don't give me 2 personal bankers, but you just throw me in a branch by myself. That's what Aaron Rodgers felt like.
Yeah.
But you want him to reach these goals. You want him to continually be the best branch in the region. You want him to like do all of that stuff.
And then they hire the
team.
And then they hire the branch manager heir apparent because you didn't get there.
Right. So because I didn't get there, now, okay, all right, Spence. I tell you what, man, we're gonna bring Sterling in. Right. We're gonna let Sterling, you know what I mean? And it's and like it sounds funny when I'm saying it, but that's what's happening to Aaron Rodgers. They haven't used a first round draft pick on a skill player for him. He hasn't. Now, Devontae Adams, I'm not gonna act like Devontae Adams isn't Devontae Adams. That dude is a beast. Like I get it, but you draft in the first round for specific level of talent.
Yep.
They haven't spent first round talent on an offensive weapon for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That is trash. That is trash.
I agree. It's hard, and I think everybody in the comment section agrees as well. So
I don't know. Brian says not true. I'm not sure what Brian is saying isn't true. I would like to. So Brian, follow up. Let me know what we're saying isn't true here. Well, but I mean, go. You can move on. We'll just I'll comment in the sections when he responds.
So we're gonna do the best that we can to talk about and bring to you the information that we have in regards to the Buffalo Bills training camp. We'll do this every week, obviously, until the season starts. But obviously, again, we're not there. And before the show started, we were lamenting about the fact that I can't be at training camp and take my own notes and tell Spence what I saw or ask Spence questions. So we are going to bring to you as best we can information that was brought to us via Twitter, via Sal Capaccio, via Matt Perino, whatever. And I'm going to rapid fire some notes or some comments that came from those guys to Spence. And we're just kind of like, let Spence answer or what he thinks. So the first one we're going to do is a two-parter. First off, and I don't know if you saw this, Jerry Hughes starts with the physically unable to perform list with a strained calf. He did not pass his physical. Did you hear that?
I did.
What were your immediate thoughts?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't think too much of it. I know Brandon Beane made it clear that it wasn't a serious injury,
right,
and that he would be back. So for me, it's one of those things where I'm not saying by any means I don't think it's a fake injury, but you know how like in years past, a lot of times the veterans would have hamstring injuries on the injury report.
Yep.
I just feel like he's a veteran. He's the leader on the defensive line. He's the guy. Last year especially, he became the voice. Like he started to vocalize things and really step up. So what I'm not saying that I don't think he's injured. I believe him. But what I'm saying is it's okay. I think he's been in the league long enough to know what to expect by the end of the preseason. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of veteran rest days and all that kind of stuff, to your point about him being a veteran and yada, yada, yada. And they tell us that a guy is strained this or strained that. And actually they're not. They're just off and he was off on the bike today. So he was in a situation where he was riding the bike. Now, to go with that, to parlay into that, Greg Rousseau flashes his speed and talent on the first day of camp per everybody. Sal, Matt, you name it, everybody that was there. Now, when I read this, and people were making a big deal about the fact that he was the one that was taking first-team reps at right defensive end. And when I thought about it at first, I was like, well, yeah, he was listed as number 2. And then when I got home today, I looked it up, or left defensive end. I'm sorry, not right defensive end. The backup to Jerry Hughes is Boogie Basham. Greg Rousseau is number 2 behind Mario Addison. So they literally moved him over to Jerry's position and gave him those reps in front of Boogie Basham. So what are your thoughts about that, about the fact that they're giving this kid basically, they're going to give him every opportunity to see what he's got, being the first round draft pick?
Well, I mean, with Jerry being out, I mean, for now, at least early, it's a good opportunity. Like, a lot of us, including me, and not that my opinion matters, but a lot of us doubted him because of his, his performance during the offseason as far as drills and all that stuff. We're like, oh, he wasn't ready. Why didn't he prepare for this? He was off the whole year. He should have prepared for this. Forget that. He got drafted. He's here. And now he's like, look, I'm going to show y'all what the deal is. And he's out there. He's showing that speed and he's showing that length. And hey, man, I love it. I cannot wait because hot take for the year. The Buffalo Bills didn't do well in the draft or in the sack compartment last year.
Correct.
I think this year, I think we're going to be towards the top of the list in the league.
Before we move on, during one of the press conferences today, I just had an epiphany, and it wasn't an epiphany that's not an obvious you weren't there already? It was just more of a, I think I just became a believer that this is what's got to happen. If there's one key to this defense returning to form or becoming crazy dominant, and it has, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with Greg Rousseau or Jerry Hughes, but if there's one key, what in your opinion, and I'll just say what I don't want to make it seem like it's a trick question. For some reason, during the Tremaine Edmunds interview, I was literally convinced, hearing him talk, hearing him speak, realizing where he's at, going into his fourth year, which he talked about, the training that he did and the people that he competed with in the offseason. If this kid, and I know he's got great stats, and you and I have talked about it, if you lead the league or if you lead the team in tackles, you led the team in tackles, to which I then rebutted to you, yeah, but Levi Wallace can be second or third. Is that a good thing? No, because this guy's still catching the football. Leading the team in tackles isn't always the best thing if you're not in position or if you're tackling the guy down the field. Like, he's not doing Brian Urlacher things yet, or he's not doing Zach Thomas things yet, or he's not doing, right, who's the dude, the Baltimore Raven, help me out here.
Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis. He's not doing Ray Lewis things. He's not destroying football games. Khalil Mack, right? He's not taking over. It just hit me. If this kid finds his feet and finds whatever that step is, or takes that step to whoever it is that we hope and believe that he can be, which is Ray Lewis, which is Khalil Mack, which is all of those types of.
I think that's too much. I think y'all.
You don't think he'll ever be that? You don't think he could ever be that guy?
I'm not saying I don't think he could ever be it. What I'm saying is I think it's unfair to put that expectation on him. It's like he's,
I'm not,
you know,
I'm not saying I have an expectation. It's just more of a if he could be. Like, if he could be that guy where defenses wholly have to account for him, it's going to open up Jerry Hughes. It's going to open up Greg Rousseau naturally. It's going to open up Ed Oliver naturally, because they're going to be focused on that dude versus, we don't really have to focus on that guy. Like, once we get past the defensive line, he's going to tackle our guy, but we're all going to have 6 yards. So it doesn't really matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I just, but you also know I'm like this year is my Tremaine year. Like last year was Andre Roberts. This year is going to be my year of Tremaine, because I just think he's awfully disrespected. Like, and he's like,
very much,
and I do, but I get your point. Like, just because you have a certain amount of tackles doesn't make it a good thing. But, I think in his case, I think it's a good thing. Levi, no, you're right. But at the same time, it's a good thing if it's what the team is asking you to do.
Sure.
It's only bad to the fans' view. But if the team is saying, Levi, let that dude catch it, get him down.
Tackle him, right.
You know what I mean? Like, if the team is telling you to do that, then he's doing a good thing, because that's what they're telling him to do. Mm-hmm. We don't have a clue. So for me, when I look at Tremaine Edmunds and the steps that he's taken from year 1, year 2, year 3, and now going into year 4, hey, I was disappointed with his performance while he was injured. He had some very good plays. Once he started to get healthy, he really was doing his thing towards the end of the season. Oh yeah. If I can get the last 6 weeks of Tremaine Edmunds for a season, I don't want to hear nothing from Bills Mafia about my guy Tremaine. Matter of fact, I need to make sure I hurry up and get that jersey in. Like, I ordered it. It needs to hurry up and get here, because that's what I'm wearing week 1 when I come to Buffalo. That's what I'm wearing at the game, because Tremaine Edmunds is that dude. And I'm going to make sure, if don't nobody know it, Bills Mafia that listens to the Hump Day Hotline, Code of Conduct, and the Chop Up, and whatever else I'm going to do, they going to know it this year.
Do you want to spill it? Do you want to spill what's going to happen week 1 for the home opener?
Oh, bet. So if y'all going to party, I'm sure most people, if not everybody in this chat, is going to be at the home season opener this year at Highmark Stadium. We are going to be, the Hump Day Hotline crew is going to be parked. By the time you get there, we'll be in the Hammers lot to party. We're going to be ready and waiting for y'all. So make sure y'all check in with me, check in with Joe, kick it with us. I want to party. I want to enjoy y'all. Now, we won't party as hard as y'all partying, because we got to, but we going to party and we going to have some fun. So I can't wait to see everybody. We also, the day before, Saturday, we have a very, very special event going on. We're going to be having a skating party. And I can't wait. That's at Frank Young's Sports Arena. And that's also in Orchard Park on Buffalo Road, I believe. And that's from 4 to 7. Get your tickets. I'll tweet the link out later on if everybody follows me on Twitter. And then the night before that, on Friday at Soho, is the Bills Mafia meetup, or the Bills Mafia party, brought to you by Cold Front Report. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend with a whole lot of fun, with a whole lot of Bills Mafia. Let's
Dude,
get it.
I might take that whole week off and try to even set something up for Wednesday and Thursday. I might just,
let's just do it.
I might try to figure out some way to just keep that whole thing rolling all week long. But yeah, so we are going to be in Hammer's Lot for the home opener, tailgating, obviously before the game and after. So if you guys are around, whatnot, we will be there. I just so for me, getting back to come on, Fina. It would be amazing if it was the Hump Day Hotline and John Fina and the Off Tackle with John Fina show. That would be pretty incredible.
If you're in Buffalo, you got to be with us, John. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
You're good. As much as I touted last year, Wildest Dreams Land, the whole season was like, oh, in your wildest dreams. We lived it. This Wildest Dreams. We didn't win the Super Bowl, but what we got out of Josh Allen was Wildest Dreams Land. I would tease you with this, and I know you're an Edmunds fan, so it's not like I'm teasing you greatly. If Edmunds can figure out some way to take half the step that Josh Allen took last year, we're building a mansion in Wildest Dreams Land and taking the Lombardi Trophy home and putting it on the mantle. I mean, it's just like literally, if you can, it's just, I'm just excited. I don't know. I had an epiphany. It was just like, man, if this kid can find it.
I feel you, and I agree, except the one that I want to see take a step. I mean, I want him to obviously take that step because, like I said, I'm on him all year. I want to see Ed Oliver take that step.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. But I think moving him back to his natural position is going to help.
It will, because I think we're going to see a whole lot of what we saw for Thanksgiving a couple years ago against Dallas.
Yeah,
that's what I think we're going to get from Ed this year. And I don't know if you've noticed. Did you see him today?
Yeah,
man, watch out, AFC East.
All right, so comments out of camp on Josh Allen, and I gotta read these for you. This is from Sal Capaccio. Sal said, Bill's starting quarterback, Josh Allen, misfired on a couple early throws into the end zone, but also fit some perfectly placed balls into tight windows for scores to several different players, including one to wide receiver Cole Beasley, your shirt, that split two defenders. Then he said, backup quarterback Mitchell Trubisky started training camp right where he left off in minicamp by having an excellent day and showing why the Bills made it a priority to sign the former second-round overall pick in 2017 as a free agent. Trubisky continued to show patience and accuracy, including a touchdown strike to wide receiver Gabe Davis, but also showed off his athletic ability on several runs. Quarterback controversy brewing in Buffalo?
No. Okay, but no. Did you see the video of Josh throwing it into the net?
Into the squares? Yeah,
dude. It's just he's on, and I know that's just a drill, but he's on. Like I'm so ready.
And I think it was Perino that even stated that that Trubisky is as great as he had looked, that Josh Allen began to kind of really come on. And the big part about Trubisky is understanding that his athleticism, what he showed and what he's showing, he's doing things that Matt Barkley could never do. As much as we all love Matt and who Matt is, and Matt is a human being, it just speaks to if the worst case scenario happens, that something happens to Josh Allen, we do have a quarterback that can step in and run this offense. Which
you have a starting quarterback on your bench.
Yeah, which we have not seen from Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley, go all the way back to the Patriots game. There's only one game that Matt Barkley looked good in. That was the first game that he played in against the Jets, where he lost his mind and had his career day. Ever since then, it's been duck and cover, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been bad news. So, but Josh Allen did look great today. Yes, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said it, like some of the angles that he was throwing at to get the balls into those squares in the net game were incredible. He was obviously visor Josh today, which is fantastic. Josh was in shorts today, which is fantastic. What are you laughing about?
Can I just ask, like, Eli, why do you think that he's looking to get traded, or like the Bills would even trade him? He's in Buffalo this year. This is a 1-year tryout for either Brian Daboll's team that he's coaching next year, or whatever team is quarterback needy that doesn't quite get the draft position to take the best quarterback next year. Like, that's what he's trying out for. He is in Buffalo. He is the backup quarterback this year. I think Jake Fromm is gone. I saw somebody else say Jake Fromm watch.
It's not outside the world realm of possibilities. Even as we saw, I think it was yesterday, Allen calling him Big Baller Bean. I think Poyer called him Big Baller Bean. Happy birthday, Big Baller Bean. Like, it's if a quarterback goes down in preseason and somebody comes walking in and says, we're going to give you a first for Mitch Trubisky.
Joe.
Second round pick for Mitch Trubisky.
You think there's any team any GM in the league that wants to keep his job will give up anything higher than a 5th round draft pick for Mitch Trubisky?
What if he's playing lights out in preseason as well?
Come on, Joe. I respect you too much. You know way too much football to say that.
You never know. I'm just saying you can't say that he is absolutely on this football team. There's no way.
I can absolutely say he's no way getting traded. The Buffalo Bills want to win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has been injured every single season he's played.
True.
Maybe not long term. Maybe not
Nicked
to the point where it's season injury. But he's been hurt. And he's missed either a game or he's come out for a few drives or he's like, there has been times where Josh Allen, because of his style of play, he gets injured. We do not want to go from Josh Allen to Jake Fromm. We do not want to go from Josh Allen to Davis Webb. Mitch Trubisky is on this roster because you want to have a guy who can, if you got 3 games that Josh is out, you want to be able to win 2 of them at least.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like Mitch Trubisky is a starting quarterback in this league. There is no way.
I agree.
There is no way
he's getting traded. I'm playing devil's advocate, but I
know. And that's why I said you're too smart. I don't believe you. That's why I said that, because it's like, Joe, you know football.
However,
there's no way.
However, this is what I would say to Eli's point. Mitch Trubisky got the greatest advice he could possibly get, because a lot of quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks that go through the situation that Mitch went through, and his is a little different because he played 50-something odd games and he actually came out with a winning record. So he's not your typical quote unquote potential first round bust. He actually had a winning record, even though there were some challenges and issues. He got benched last year, yada, yada, yada. The greatest advice he was given was go someplace where you can find yourself, learn, take a step back, and get ready to step forward, which is exactly what he did. Mitch Trubisky, I think, wants to be here for that same reason. He's looking to hit the reset button, learn some things that he doesn't know, try to figure some things out. And I promise you, and you didn't say it, but you did earlier this week, there's no doubt in my mind that a conversation wasn't had, hey, go there, play really, really well, or do your thing, learn Brian Daboll's offense, and who knows, you could be Brian Daboll's quarterback when Brian Daboll becomes a head coach, right? Yeah. And that's literally what we're talking about. So, yeah, I agree with you. He's not necessarily going anywhere. It would not. I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked, but I'm not saying that somebody wouldn't necessarily come calling. But anyways, Josh Allen looked great. Next one, Deion Dawkins and Ike Boettger both start camp on the COVID reserve list, which is crazy and also speaks to, here we are back up in the COVID roll meaning rolled up. This is part of also what Cole Beasley has been talking about is, if you're not vaccinated, you have to be tested every day. If you're vaccinated, you have to be tested once a week. At least it was that way. I think they begin to change that, which basically means that if you're not vaccinated, or if you are vaccinated, you get tested on Friday, you get COVID on Saturday, you're around the team on Sunday, you're on the team on Monday, you're on the team on Wednesday, infecting everybody because you've got COVID until you get tested again on Friday. And that was one of the things that he was talking about, that like some of the vaccinated players and the rules they have for them is almost more dangerous than us because I'm getting tested every day and they're not. And this speaks to it. Like, this is kind of crazy to me that Deion Dawkins and Ike Boettger both start camp on the COVID reserve list. However, it actually is somewhat of a benefit when you think about it because of who we drafted.
I mean, it's absolutely a benefit for our guys on the offensive line that we drafted, because now we get to see some clips from Spencer Brown. I can't wait to just see him push people over, man. I just can't wait. Pancakes all day. Like, let me get a tall stack. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see pancakes. Just do it. But no, I mean, Deion, hopefully both Deion and Ike, I hope that they recover well, quickly. Sucks that they're out. Also, not that this has to be part of the conversation, but I do just want to say it sucks all of the stuff that we've been seeing on Twitter. And like, we got to chill, man. Like, not you, Joe. I'm saying, like, we got to chill. Like, a lot of this stuff, is getting out of hand. Like, for us to be a community and us to be family, that's what I consider Bills Mafia. We got to chill. It's really getting bad.
Yeah, for sure. Next one I got for you, Matt Perino. Emmanuel Sanders had the catch of the day. And basically what had happened was I believe he was going up against Tre'Davious White. They went kind of back and forth. We're checking each other. And then he flashed open for a second, and Allen used his arm talent to fire the ball in there, threw a frozen rope at him, to which he hauled in. And it was the catch of the day. And I just basically put on there, clearly chemistry is beginning to build between him and QB1, which we did not see in OTAs or in minicamp. There was a lot of reporting that they were kind of not on the same page and they were struggling a little bit. Speak, if you will, for a second on the importance of that Emmanuel Sanders, Josh Allen chemistry.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's I'm so excited because what's going to happen, you're going to have two receivers this year that could potentially kind of sort of be like a number one type deal. And I know we kind of were excited about that with John Brown because John Brown, the year before Steph got here, John Brown had that number one role. Emmanuel Sanders really can still be a number one guy if he had the right team. If Steph wasn't here, we would be perfectly fine going into the season with Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, like we would be perfectly fine. So the fact that you have both, and then, you see stuff like this, like you see stuff like this. Well, not that. It was supposed to pop up. Wrong screen. That's my home screen for everybody. I get down with the, but I'm gonna pull it back up. That's my squad. But I'm gonna pull up the one that I was trying. I don't know why that did that. But here we go. This one. You see stuff like this, and he's happy,
smiling.
That was the first catch that he made from Josh Allen, and he's smiling as he falls to the ground. The chemistry is growing. Everything is happening. They were all dancing at practice like they used to last season. Everything was fun. Everybody was partying. This is what winning teams look like. This is how they act. Dude, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's wildest dreams land. I'm gonna run it back, dude. I don't like to use the phrase "run it back" because everybody does. I'm running back the phrase "wildest dreams land" because I drove. So we took the kids to Darien Lake today. We got season passes, and I did some work from Darien Lake. So I had my laptop out. I was doing work from there while the kids were swimming, riding rides and stuff. And driving home, listening to the press conference, and I'm literally ready to just go out on a limb. And it's not a big limb to say, I think we win the Super Bowl this year. I think the pieces are there. I think the defense is going to round out into form. I don't know that. I think I've convinced. You're smiling. I've convinced myself at this point. I'm ready to say it. I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl.
You remember like 4 weeks ago, we were on here and I'm like, no, Joe, we're winning the Super Bowl. And you're like, I don't want to. I mean, it's possible. And I'm like, no, Joe, I don't want to skip past. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I love you. You made me so proud.
If the Kool-Aid were bourbon, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, I tell you what, you haven't been drinking it long enough for the Kool-Aid to have you talking crazy. That is a real take. The Buffalo Bills are going to freaking win the Super Bowl this year. And I need Buffalo Bills fans to know that and to get behind it. Last year, we were a year ahead of schedule as far as what we expected out of the team. We didn't expect Josh to develop there in year 3.
Right.
If we get the same Josh that we got last year, this year, we're still going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Josh Allen doesn't, contrary to what Good Morning Football thinks and NFL Network, Josh Allen doesn't have to get better. Now, it would be nice. I would love to see him mentally take the next step. And I would love to see him, take more advantage of those short passes. And I would love to see him, like, there's certain things that he can improve on. Absolutely.
Yep.
He had 11 interceptions last year? 10?
Yep. 10, I think.
I would love to see him have like none, like he could get better. But if we have the same Josh Allen from last season and the defense goes from where they were to a top 7, I don't even need them to get to 5, 3, 4, none of that. I don't even need to. You get back to a top 7 defense with the offense we had last year, and then somebody to just make sure we don't turn the ball over on special teams.
Yep. No,
we're going to win the Super Bowl.
There was no necessarily news from Isaiah Hodgins outside of a question that was asked to Stephon Diggs about Isaiah. And he said that last year, obviously, Isaiah was not in the building because Isaiah was injured and he had surgery. And because of the COVID protocols and rules, if you were not a part of the active roster, I don't think you could be in the building just due to the COVID stuff. However, he was sending him, Steph said that he was sending him like messages, and this is what I've been practicing on. And I've been watching you guys. Steph basically said all that stuff is well and good. However, you have to be able to translate it to the field, and he believes Isaiah can. The big thing about Isaiah is no news is potentially good news. I mean, if you don't hear that he's dropping footballs, it's probably a good thing. The big thing for him is if you watch the video of them dancing today, and what was the dance they were doing where they were like rowing the boat? What was?
I'm 35.
All
not
of them
that means I'm old. Yeah, I'm not old, but I do not know none of the new dances. Like the last one that I think the last one I was cool for was like the Nene or something like that. I don't even know if it was called the Nene.
This is going to break the internet if Chris Jenke knows, because Chris Jenke knows everything. We should do a segment called Chris Jenke Knows. And like
we actually should add that for the season.
We can quiz him. We
absolutely should.
Chris Jenke Knows. If Chris Jenke knows the dance they were doing, the internet might break. But anyways,
we should absolutely do that for the season.
If you watched him, he was taller than everybody else. His build, his size, he's a different built receiver. Jake Kumaro was the closest guy to him in size. Isaiah Hodgins being 6'4". But to your point,
the second best wide receiver that was in Green Bay's camp last year, Jake Kumaro, touchdown Jesus.
Do we want to go back to Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of did, but we can keep moving on. It's because people were commenting. So
it's far highly more likely that they're going to trade for Jake Kumaro than they are going to for Randall Cobb, because Randall Cobb's cap number, I think, is $9 million this year. I don't think it's
already done. Randall Cobb is done. He's in Green Bay.
The last thing I heard yesterday, that's amazing because I did not catch that. Last thing I heard yesterday was they had to make a bunch of moves to fit him in under the cap. He was over the cap, or they'd be over the cap if they traded for him. That might have been this morning. That might have been this morning. I heard that.
Well, the trade went through today.
Dum.
Let's see. I'm trying to get the exact terms for you. Packers are trading a 2022 6th-round pick to the Texans for Randall Cobb. The Houston Texans are also expected to pay $3 million of Cobb's salary to facilitate the deal.
There it is. By the way, this could be the title of the segment.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, Chris, when we get off of this, I'm DMing you, man. We're gonna have a chat,
or just stump Chris.
We're gonna have a chat, man. We gotta figure out how to integrate you this season. That's gonna be dope.
Okay, so going back to what we were talking about the Buffalo Bills winning a Super Bowl and Josh Allen being Josh Allen and the defense or the offense being the offense and returning to form, but coming back where they left off. Maybe the run game getting a little bit stronger, Josh Allen becoming a hair more efficient, whatever that means, whatever it looks like. And even still, if we get 2020 Josh Allen, we're good. The defense, they don't even need to be 7, or if they just get to 7. This is the last one I got for you. Dane Jackson, this is also from Matt Perino. Dane Jackson was in the mix again today. He broke up a contested pass versus Duke Williams. Matt Perino affectionately names him in this post that he made Action Jackson, because literally every time the dude is on the field, he shows up, he flashes. Every time Dane Jackson is on the football field, he flashes.
Before I comment on Dane, I'm gonna have to reach out to Matt. I am the nickname legend. I don't like people taking my job. Like, I'm the nickname dude. I give the nicknames. So I'm gonna call Matt. We're gonna have to talk. But no, Dane, look, Dane is special. You know, I don't think that obviously he was first round talent. That's why he wasn't drafted there. But right. I think that he has all the traits that the team likes, and I think he's going to develop to somebody that we're going to see around here for quite some time. I just still think it's Levi's. I think, you know, he's been a guy. So Levi, he wasn't a first round pick. He had to prove it. Yep. He had to work to earn it. And I think he's always had that underdog mentality. Every year, it seems like they're trying to have somebody compete with him. They brought in games.
He was a UDRFA, undrafted or UDFA, undrafted free agent. Yeah.
So you had the 1 year they brought in EJ Gaines. Yep. 2 years really that he left and came back. They brought in, like every year it's like they're bringing in somebody to try and compete with him.
Josh Norman.
They thought Josh Norman was going to take that job from him. Levi was like, good luck. You know what I mean? So, as much as I like Dane, I like Dane Jackson. I think I think he makes the 53, but I think the job goes to my guy, Levi. I can't see him. Especially he came back, he took a pay cut to come back. Right. He told his family, like, I'm coming back to win a Super Bowl. Like, we're really going to do this. There's no way that I see that type of motivation. When guys are like, no, I'll take less. I know I can go elsewhere. He could have probably went somewhere and made $7 million this year, $6 million this year. He signed for like 1.25 or something. It was something like ridiculously unbelievable. It was almost like an Isaiah McKenzie contract. It's like, wait, what are y'all signing for?
The problem is if the best players are going to play and you got a guy that continually shows up on the field in flash format, I don't know where it's going to be interesting how this rolls out. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm not committed or sold on any of my thoughts, if that makes sense. I agree with you, but I could completely make an argument on the opposite side. Do you follow that?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you make it real quick?
No, I mean, it's not worth making. I mean, to me, if you can put a guy in there that's a closer or a guy that is going to contest a quarterback, which Levi does not really do. Again, John Fina is in the room in the comment section. To John Fina's point, we've talked about it here tonight. The Bills are probably not asking him to contest passes from quarterbacks. But if you can throw another guy out there on the opposite side of Tre'Davious White, where the quarterback's like, I can't throw to my left, and I can't throw to my right, it very much takes lanes away from the quarterback and where he can put the football. Versus I can't throw to my left because Trey's out there, but I got the guy on the right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. And this is part of it. We're not in that locker room. We'll see. I'm going to leave you with this. We've got 10 minutes left. And I'd love to hear just from the comments section. And I've been disconnected from the comment section just because I've been, what's up, Magavenda? Just because I've been in the banner section as far as like throwing the banners up there. I did a monologue, a whole show on continuity about a month and a half ago.
Yep.
If we get these words in the NFL, and we get these words from content creators, and we get these words from beat reporters, and we get these words from radio guys, and we get these words from teams, momentum and culture and yada, yada, yada. Continuity is another one of those words. And that is what I was vibing off when I did that show on continuity. Chris Schenke remembers that he actually referenced it last week, I think. If continuity be true, right? If it's a real thing, this is the year.
This is
4 years in the same system on offense, 4 years in the same system on defense. JSpencetheKing, that is unheard of in the NFL.
But this is why I don't think a lot of so like I know we did the predictions for the roster the other day, and I said, like it's going to be some tough decisions, and I do think there are, but I think the tough decisions are going to be in depth. I don't think it's going to be like they want to go back into this year like, hey, we made it to the Final Four. Yeah. We made it to the conference championship. If we were healthy, we feel like we could have won. So you don't break what's not broken. And then on top of it, you drafted well. Dane Jackson, he was a part of the squad last year. Like he was around the team. He learned. You don't break it. So now,
wait. Year 5 for Leslie Frazier, year 4 for Brian Daboll. Rick Dennison was the offensive coordinator of Tyrod's last year. Go ahead.
Right. But no, I just think that the way it's set up, I think we're pretty much going to see the same team returning. We're going to see all those guys, depending on how you see Mario Addison and like those type of moves. But listen, they're going for it. And to have the same guys, Micah Hyde talked about it on Good Morning Football, I think it was maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. He was talking about like, no, normally you don't get to play with the same guys for 3 seasons, 4 seasons. You don't get to play with the same coach for 4 seasons.
Edmunds talked about it today. Edmunds talked about the fact that they know this system. Everybody knows where everybody should be and what they should be doing.
So I got to watch that when we get off. It's like when that happens, first of all, like you said, it's unheard of. So now that like you actually get to play with somebody where you don't have to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know them. And I just, as much as I like the trajectory of what I think Dane is going to be, what his career is going to turn into, as much as our rookies, they're going to get snaps. Greg Rousseau is definitely getting snaps. Boogie's definitely getting snaps.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, AJ, but the thing is, the guys that are on this roster that took us where we went, our team is expected to be healthy, and we're going to try to go even further.
Right. Sorry, I'm responding to my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Oh, she's on Facebook. I just messaged in the
and YouTube.
She can't see it. I can do it from here though.
Throw it up.
There we go.
No.
It just went out from you, me, rumbling.
You should have just did this.
Went up from everybody. Yes, to all of that as far as the continuity. To me, the continuity piece, if it's ever going to show its face, if we're ever going to find out if it's real or not, this is when we're going to discover as to whether or not continuity. I believe in momentum. I believe momentum is a real thing. I've been in that stadium. I can hear you. So you figured out how to turn the speakers on your computer. That's good. Jamie's figured it out. Jamie's moved over to YouTube. One of these days, my mom will figure out where YouTube is. We have all been in that stadium. I'm the guy a couple weeks ago that talked about the wheels coming off. Like nobody, and Bruce Nolan actually commented, nobody has the wheels come off like the Buffalo Bills. And it's true. For 20 years, we've watched the wheels come off this football team, and we've been in that stadium when we felt it. I remember that it was 2014 or 15. The Patriots were in town. We went into the locker room up like 17-10 or 21-10 in control of the football game. Second half, they put Gronkowski out wide, and the dude ate for the second half and literally destroy. And you just felt the air leave the stadium, just completely leave the stadium. We've all been there. Like when that momentum has just collapsed. I believe in momentum. I believe there can be a feeling where a team just gets that vibe that like we can't be beaten. Go ahead.
I do too, and that's why I was nervous in the playoffs. Like when I came home and we were there, like I felt like the Bills weren't the best team that day, and the momentum was all going towards the Colts. Like everything that they were doing in that third and fourth, Josh fumbles at like what was it, like the 50-yard line, the 45-yard line, like just everything seemed like it was going their way, and it was like, oh God, please don't. But then once you realize who was throwing the Hail Mary pass at the end, it was like, okay, we're good. But it was like, God, please don't let this happen.
I still yelled, knock it down. Knock it down.
You did.
Yeah, and Micah Hyde did. Micah Hyde was like, we ain't catching this ball. We're knocking it down. I think it was Micah Hyde or it was a Jordan Poyer. One of the two knocked it down. So anyways, momentum I believe in. And culture, I very much, as a student of leadership, we've talked about it 1,000 times. I very, very, very much believe in culture. Continuity. If continuity be a thing, we're going to find out this year. This is the thing. If the wheels come off, I don't know that I'm ever going to believe in continuity, because we hear it all the time about the offensive line. Oh, continuity on the offensive line. Got to have continuity on the offensive line. And it's just like,
you know what I'm excited to see?
Our offensive line sucked last year. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, but to all of those points that you're making about like continuity now and all that, Stephon Diggs said today, and I didn't watch his whole presser, but he said that he and Josh didn't connect on the deep ball.
Yep.
Well,
right.
If he was to improve.
Yep.
What?
He said they were great at the intermediate throws, which he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
There was a lot of balls that Josh chucked out there, and I'm going to say it again. I said it in 2020. You heard me. Launch angle. Early in the season, Josh was throwing rainbows, and towards the end of the season, he was trying to throw ropes out there. And throwing a rainbow and letting your wide receiver run to the ball is a lot different than throwing a frozen rope 60 or 75 yards, 70 yards downfield, and you got to hit the dude like on a dime. It's just a different.
I don't know. I feel like Josh was. I thought he was not great, but I thought he was like very good in that department last year. And I think like the throws that normally come to my memory about it, were the games where it was like for instance the Jets game, that was like very windy. Very windy. The Ravens game, very windy. Like Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals.
There's my niece. My niece is in it. We're just going to call this the Joe Miller Family Show.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Squad up. Squad up.
I was just going to say something too. Oh, the most brilliant rainbow throw, in my opinion, is your guy, Aaron Rodgers, and number 2, Russell Wilson. They just throw rainbows. And believe it or not, JP Lossman had a great rainbow.
JP Lossman had a very nice.
It was just everything else he couldn't throw.
I'm gonna now, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback of all time.
Yes.
But I'm gonna challenge you on that. It's not gonna be nice right now, so because I know everything that's surrounding him. But all off-field stuff aside, I think Deshaun Watson has the prettiest deep ball in the league right now.
Probably, although he's no longer has Will Fuller. Do we need to talk about the fact that he wants to go to Miami and be reunited with Will Fuller per NFL Network? And you're talking about Xavier Howard and Tua. I mean, they haven't put it together, but I mean, we're talking about Tua and Howard going to the Texans for Deshaun Watson.
That would be so tragic.
For
Tua.
For Tua.
No, for Tua. You got drafted, all this hype around you, the tank for Tua thing, and then they draft a guy that you're comfortable with just so that way you can improve and get better. And then if you get traded to go to a team that's gutted.
Right.
So like I feel bad for Deshaun, and it's like, come on, like if the Dolphins did that, man, like that's just like, I mean, I understand you want to get better as a franchise, so you get better as a franchise. Deshaun Watson will be, but I mean, I don't know if as a GM, if I would take that risk. Like, obviously right now there are no criminal charges filed against Deshaun Watson. So that's the reason why he's still able to show up and practice and blah, 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 blah. Right. But as soon as it does happen.
So I was watching the Hoof live last night, and they had Benjamin Albright on. And Benjamin Albright said there's 10, and a bunch of the guys in the chat were in the comment section now. We're in, obviously, the regulars were in there with us. And Albright said there's 10 criminal charges against him, 2 of which are not associated with civil cases. So this is not a situation where they're all just saying the same thing to get money from Deshaun Watson because he's a really rich man. Like, there's 10 criminal charges against him, and 2 of the people are not suing him for money. They just want him charged.
So we'll see what happens. And that's why I said, like, for me as a GM, like right now, if I'm the GM of the Miami Dolphins, Tua didn't play lights out his rookie season.
Right.
He had a winning record. I get it. They pulled him out for fits at times to close games. And whatever. But Tua, he was a rookie. He was recovering from a serious injury. And, you got to give time to develop. I just don't know if as a GM, I'm going to trade away an investment in a guy like Tua for a guy like Deshaun Watson, who is, in my opinion, a top tier guy. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, hands down. But you just do not know about his future. Tomorrow, these criminal charges can really drop, and he can be like suspended for 2 years.
Exemption list. That's right.
And then you just traded away Tua. You traded away Howard for what? So for him to come to practice for 2 weeks? I just don't know if that's the route that I would go as a GM.
I don't think I would either, but there clearly would have to be some measure of guarantee that he's going to get to play. So a phone call to the commissioner, right? Is this guy going to get to play? Right.
But I mean, the thing is, the commissioner can't promise that. Like, because for instance, as soon as those charges are investigated and it goes past an investigation to an actual like indictment, or like once he's charged, because right now there are allegations, but it's under investigation.
He's innocent.
So the league hasn't innocent. So right now the league isn't suspending him. So as soon as it gets to the point where the justice system down there decides to say, okay, no, this is moving forward, we're about to do this, the league can then suspend.
Right.
There's no way in this world that we live in right now with the women movements that's been taking place, Me Too movement, like there's so many movements that's going on that support women's rights. There's no way the NFL is going to get away with being able to allow a guy, considered to some a serial harasser or serial whatever.
Right.
There's no way he's going to be able to play a full season. No way.
I agree.
Now, I would really like to see him go to Washington, though. If he's going to play, I would love to see him in Washington.
Let's do this. We've been here for an hour and 3 minutes, and we always love our fans and the people that are watching us and are tuned in. Basically, the family. We won't even call them fans. We'll call them FAMs, 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 because they're all part of Bill's Mafia. Why don't you wrap up the show?
You want me to wrap up the show?
Wrap it up.
Okay.
Wrap it up, Chris.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for kicking it with us. This has been a great week. We did actually, you got to hang with us 3 times this week, and it's
crazy.
And like this is the first time in a long time actually that Joe and I have talked this much on a regular basis all week, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I miss you, and I mean I know we still talk a lot, but I mean I miss this, and I'm happy to see you coming back. So ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. Do your thing this week. Be nice to each other. I'm not going to do the normal spill from the code of conduct, but be nice to each other.
It's so good, though. It's so good. Just do it.
Okay. Well, love each other. Take care of each other and live in peace. And as always, stay positive and test negative. Go Bills.
Go Bills.